Hi everyone, how are you guys doing today? Welcome to my channel. I'm Cash and this is just my journey as a surrogate. This is actually my second surrogacy. For those of you that don't know, I was pregnant in 2013 with twins. They were delivered healthy. I was very, very discreet about that one because I didn't really want anyone to know about it. But the people that did know about it, they ended up doing a surrogacy or they referred somebody else to do the surrogacy. So I said with this one, I'm going to be more open about it and actually tell people the process and how it worked for me, how it affected me, how it affected my family. So let's jump in the time machines and go back to 2013. Well, actually 2012, because that's when the process started. So I was in a penny saver and I seen an ad that said something about, hey, do you want to make this amount of money carrying a baby for someone else? That's not how it was worded, of course, but that's how I took it. I'm like, well, I didn't have any complications with my first pregnancy, which was my oldest son. So why not just do it again and get paid for it this time? So that was probably maybe Friday or Saturday. So I went to work Monday morning and I filled out the application. And that time it was no, I couldn't fill the application out online, so I had to print it out. So I had to be sneaky on the printer, print it out, fill the application out, and mailed it off. And one of my coworkers, my closest coworkers, luckily it was her, she seen it. And she was like, oh, hey, are you trying to be a surrogate? And I'm like, how you know? She was like, she used to work with that same agency. And it actually was weird for me because this surrogate agency wasn't in our state. It's in a different state. So it was like, oh, okay. So she was just telling me how her experience was. She showed me pictures of her intended parent and the baby, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And this was 3 years prior to me doing it. Well, me being in there in that room with her that day. So I was actually relieved because I was like, I have somebody helping me that can help me if I have questions or anything. So I filled the application out, and this was like July of 2012. They called me back, and then by August, they had matched me with an intended parent. And I'm called a gestational carrier, and the parents are the intended parents. So you'll hear me say IPs, and that's just intended parents. So like I said, in August of 2012, I was matched with an intended parent. After we did our interview, it came to the conclusion that we actually weren't a perfect match for each other. So we actually had to move forward with other people. But I think it took like about 2 weeks for me to be matched with other intended parents. And that wasn't anything for me. I was just like, wow, okay. And these people were just so loving and caring. And, well, for one, they weren't from the States. They were from a different country. And that experience with them was so amazing. Like, they were the most loving, most caring people I could have ever met in my life. And we actually still keep in touch with each other to this day. So after we were matched, I started taking the birth control pills so that the agency could get me on their own cycle. And I was on the birth control pills for up until December. So about 3 months. September, October, November, December. Yeah, 3 months. Then I started taking the estradiol. And the estradiol was 3 times a day, every day. And that started, I believe, around the end of December. Beginning of January, end of December. End of December, beginning of January. And then the beginning of January. No, the second week of January. I'm sorry. The second week of January, I started the progesterone, which was an injection. And I used to get my son, who was probably about 7 or 8 at the time, to put it in my back. But then when I realized I could do it myself, I was putting it in my stomach and in my thighs. So like I said, I was injecting my own self, and then the progesterone injections were done every day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were done every day. And then it was this paste I had to insert in my vagina. I cannot remember the name of the paste, but that was once in the morning and once before you go to sleep. And oh my God, it was a mess. I'm so glad that that was not the case for this one. I'm just so happy because the paste was nasty. And then I went for my transfer at the end of January. Now they did transfer 3 embryos, and all 3 embryos were successful. So I was pregnant with triplets at first, and a lot of people don't know that. I was actually pregnant with triplets. And when we found out, the family, my extended parents were so happy. And I'm like, triplets? I don't know if I can handle, my body can handle triplets. So I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I get myself into? But because of the contract that we had signed, I couldn't have the triplets. They would have to terminate one. So a week later, after we found out that the triplet, I was pregnant with triplets, one of them actually detached itself. So we didn't have to worry about terminating that one child. So like I said, it was twins. The pregnancy wasn't that bad. I was placed on bed rest twice. The first time was like when I was around 4 months. And I honestly forgot why I was placed on bed rest. But it was probably like 2 or 3 weeks maybe. Not even that long, I want to say. Maybe 1.5 weeks. But it felt like forever because I was by myself. And it was hot outside and I wanted to be outside. And then when I was able to get off of bed rest, I went back to work. And I had a desk job, so it wasn't like I was doing anything like, oh my goodness, you don't need to be doing that. I had a desk job. So the pregnancy went smooth for the rest of the time. I was actually due in October, but I went into labor in August. I went into labor at the end of August. And the family came over from Jerusalem. They were so happy to see their babies. Oh my goodness. Just remembering the smile on their face and being able to be the reason for that joy. It was just like, oh my God, so amazing. And I honestly think that that's what made me want to do it again. Like, I've never seen people this happy in my life, this excited, like just to see their babies. Like, they walked in there and they were so happy, they were crying and everything. And to see that in real life is just like amazing. For more, subscribe, guys. Click that link in the bio and subscribe. Bye.